What's new, my Mystic crew? Today we have round one of locals. We're up against Wally. Go check out TikTok for the deck profile. Well, our deck profile. So I'll start off with Signet Mining, which goes through, and I pitch the imperm. I search for Mathmech Circular, which everyone should know what Circular does by now. It allows you to send another Mathmech from deck to grave to spec itself. And then I activate Sigma and Grave to special summon itself as well, which then activates the Circular to search the Superfactorial. From there, I overlay a bit of a blind spot there with the sun into the Alibertian to add a Mathmech from deck to hand. He, of course, drops the imperm on that, so I activate the Foolish Burial, sending the diameter to the grave. There, I set to. I give the deck a little shuffle, get my opponent to give it a cut, because, of course, we did search for the Circular earlier in. Reason why I activate the Foolish Burial to get the diameter is because then it gives the Superfactorial into the Laplation a Omni Negate. So this is where I just explain what Superfact does. So it specs the 3 back from the grave, overlays straight away into the Laplation, which now has an on-summon effect of detaching 2 to rip a card out of my opponent's hand and to pop the monster on the field. He did notify me, of course, his monster in the grave obviously has its effect, which would activate first. So there we go. So now the on-summon effect, sending his monster and ripping the card from his hand. And because, so we've gone 1, 2, 4 with 5 and 6 being reroll, and we've got 3 rerolls before we hit something. And we have the Omni Negate built in as well due to diameter. So we have our 2 2k monsters on the field. And along with that other face down card. I'll be honest with you, I cannot remember what it is. He goes to activate Prisma. I activate the Alibertian Omni Negate to negate the Prisma, and he sets 1, passes. So here I set 1. I look into my extra deck, see what I can do, and yeah, there's a few things I could do if I really wanted to. Like I could go and Splash Mage. But then I was thinking Splash Mage would only really get me to thingy. But then I remembered I've got Sigma and Grave, and as long as I don't control a monster in the extra monster zone, I can spec Sigma. So then I activate Alibertian's other effect, which is tribute itself cost to special summon 1 back from the grave. So I went with Circular, and then I don't know why I just didn't link off the Alibertian, but sure. I went Splash Mage bring back the Circular and Splash into Transcode. Transcode targets the Splash to bring it back, and then I go Splash and Laplation into Heat Soul. So now Heat Soul is 3300 and Transcode is 2800. I couldn't remember if I went into the deck or not, so I got my opponent shuffle it and give it a cut anyway. And then we paid 1000 through Heat Soul to draw a card. Just checking my face downs, swing for the 28 and then swing direct for the 33. So he lost the 1100 from the Transcode and 33, so he lost 44 in total. My opponent draws the card and he scoops it up to game 2. So there we go. It was called by the grave and thingy. So I'm just going to drop the pause here while we side, and I'll be back in a moment. Again, we're back after siding, so I have sided in 3 evenly matches and 2 droll and lock birds. I only side 2 drolls, or otherwise I would side in all 3. My opponent gets to choose who goes first, and of course he chose for himself to go first because, hell, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! So he goes and activates 5-fist formation Tanky, which allows him to search for a beast warrior or whatnot. And because he searched, I decided to drop the droll and lock bird, which was soon met with a call by the grave. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if you got it, you got it. That's why cool buys in the game, really, isn't it? But it also means I'm protected against droll on my turn if my opponent's running it. I don't know if he is or not, but he does the whole Brigade thing here of, you drop 1 to add 1, you drop another to add another, etc., etc. Goes for the Prisma to activate Starfrost. I drop the Imperm, but he had the Starfrost in hand anyway, so yeah. So he links it off into this dude, which allows him to search for the field spell. He activates the field spell, which allows him to search for the Scareclaw Rise Heart thing, which he can spec to a zone a link monster points to, or adjacent to, I think, or to where, like, the thing he is. And it searches spell card, then he goes into a link 2, which I believe is his Ancient Warrior. Oh no, he goes cross sheep first. So then he banishes those two to fuse, which then triggers his cross sheep, which allows him to spec back a level 4 or lower monster, because a fusion monster has been special summoned to a zone it points to. He's having a little look through his X deck before deciding which one he wants to commit into, and he goes into the Fractal. That's cool. Then from here, I know he does more. He realised he hasn't actually activated Factor Effect yet, so he banishes Kit to special summon out the Ancient Warrior Double Dragon. So, yeah, interesting. He is setting up a board. He's played through 2 hand traps as well, just like to point that out. I dropped a Droll and an Imperm, and now, if that Droll stuck, if that hit, that would have hurt. It really would have hurt, because how many cards has he added since? But it doesn't, and yeah, that's okay. And then from there, he is just explaining what his cards do, because that's like, do any of them do anything on my turn? Because that's the important thing. Like, what they do on his turn is cool. I'll find that out as we go. I just want to make sure that if I had to like play for any negates or whatever, so he explains what everything does. I'm having a good little think, checking my X deck, because this is the first time I'm playing with the new Link 1 monster for the Cyverse, so I just want to make sure like I'm understanding the cards correctly. I'm having a real good think here. I decided to skip it up, because I've only got 2 normal summons and a Monster Reborn. I was thinking I could normal summon and spec, but it just, I weren't going to play through that board, and he would just clean me up on the clapback, so there's no point. So I'm going to pause here, and I'll be back with the next round of siding. Okay, so we're back for round 3, so off we go. We draw our 5, and because I lost round 2, I start us off. And I start off with Firewall Defensor and link him straight off into Lingribo. This now triggers Firewall Defensor effect to special summon Firewall Guardian from the deck. From here, I just link both of them straight off into the Splash Mage. Firewall Guardian will now activate, which will spec itself back from the graveyard when it's used as link material. And then activate Splash Mage, which gets met with the Imperm. So therefore, I just target Splash Mage with Subtraction to get the extra body on board, and detach the 2 for the Alibertion. Alibertion now triggers to get the Circular sending the Nabbler, then trigger the Alibertion to spec back the Nabbler, which then triggers the Circular effect to search the Superfactorial, and now the Nabbler effect to tribute the Circular to spec out the Diameter. So that is the new combo line which you can go through. Personally, I really love it. I think that's such a great combo line. You do end up with your standard play, so you go transcode, bring back the splash, go into the heat soul, give the deck a shuffle, pay 1,000, draw a card. But you know you've got the Superfactorial, you know that you've got the cards engraved for it, so yeah, it's really good going. So we set 2, we set 3, and we pass turn. So draw phase, standby phase, I pay the 1,000, draw the card. Always draw the card during the standby phase. So he activates, is that one, it's not Nerval, I can't remember what that one's called. I go to activate Superfact to target 3, 1, 2, 3. He activates the call by on the Nabbler, which really didn't make sense to me. So I'll just overlay the 2 remaining into the Alibertion, because Superfactorial is up to 3. So as long as you have a suitable target engraved, you can still just go, in the X deck, you can just go into that one, which is what we've done with the Alibertion, which of course has the on-summon effect. But his monster effect triggers first, and then the Alibertion activates detaching the 2 to search for a Mathmech card. Now, the reason why I was surprised that he called by the Nabbler is it's the Diameter that gives it the Omni Negate. So I now have an Omni Negate on field, but I flip the call by. He then goes to activate, I believe that one's Fractal. I'm having a think there, because I'm sure I activate the Omni Negate of Alibertion this turn. Well, on this, because obviously you only have the Omni Negate to the end turn. He's having to flick through his extra deck now just to see what he can do with the 2 bodies on field. I'm sure he can do something. But yeah, so, yeah. Like I say, it really confused me when he called by the Nabbler, because if he called by the Diameter, I would have just had 2k body without the Omni Negate. So, I don't know why that went to the grave. Honestly don't. Can't remember. But he passes turn. I draw the Monster Reborn for the Mathmech, of course, which is Diameter. Then I go into the Edition. I pay the 1,000 to draw a card because, I'll be honest with you, I forgot. And then we link off all of them into the Terahertz, sending the Fusion Monster. So Terahertz is now sitting on 5,500. Then we link 4 into the access code, targeting the Heat Soul, so he has 3k attack. We banish the Fire to pop the back row, which he now activates. From there, I call by the target of his trap card. But it didn't actually matter anyway, because I shouldn't have done that, because he can't respond to access code's effects. But then he scoops it up, and that's game, and we take round 1.